Hello, and welcome to the Mental Funny Bone, Becoming the Gaster Girls. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Christine. A big part of this podcast is discussing mental health, but we don't know what we're talking about. If you're here to get medical advice on mental health issues, you're doing it wrong. There's a
Click
whole
the
list of
links.
resources. There's a whole list of resources. Yeah, and we're barely touching on mental health stuff these days. We're trying to make ourselves better people.
I
But
was
yeah,
thinking about that. I was thinking, and maybe that's why I wrote down some of the stuff that I wrote down in my little thing here to talk about today.
right. I also wrote down one very important thing that I need to talk about with regard to mental health, but we'll get
Yes.
there.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So, all of the things that we have written down, I'm not sure we're going to get to all of them. And I'm fairly certain we're not going to get to talking about Atomic Habits.
Oh, no, we are, because I have some shit. I have some shit.
Oh, yeah.
I
We could
think,
at least, maybe we're not going to talk about exact chapters and stuff, but we could talk about what we've done in our lives in the past week.
oh my God, no, I think you're trying to duck out. There's some psychological things you need to talk to your therapist about because you are trying to duck out of changing your habits.
No, because I
You
just said
are.
we need to talk about what we did. We need to talk about our actions in the
Okay.
last week. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm not trying to
And
duck out. I'm just trying to tell you that I didn't read all of our homework.
let me take a poll of our audience and see who is surprised. No one. Nobody. Zero
Okay,
people are shocked. Zero
cool,
people.
cool.
Nobody.
All right.
So we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's do some fan mail. So do you hold on?
Okay,
I have
go ahead
to
and yawn.
yawn.
I'll wait till you're done
Sorry.
yawning.
Yeah, there it is. And that's just how today is going. I had to go to the dentist.
Ooh, did you get Novocaine?
No, I didn't get
Oh,
Novocaine. They just
Novocaine
cleaned
makes
my
me
teeth.
sleepy.
They just cleaned them. And it turns out if you go every 6 months, that's a lot less painful than if you wait 2 years because you're scared to go to the dentist.
Christine.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like
I
against the law in this house.
I know. We've been very
Mhm.
good about it. We've been very good. Olivia more than me because I will wait until 15 minutes before the appointment and be like, "No, I can't do it. I can't make myself go to the dentist." So this time I went
We
six
need to
months
talk about
ago.
that.
That's
But go
why
ahead.
I'm going to get a therapist so I don't have to
Okay.
have you figure
Okay.
that thing out. Yeah. So it's been 6 months and this was actually pleasant. The having people like behind me here trying to
Mm.
talk to me is very difficult and challenging. Like she's trying to make conversation. I can't see her because she's back here.
Yeah,
Like
and
not
you
even when
can't.
she's in my mouth. Like she's
It
just
doesn't.
back there. I
It
don't
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's a weird. My girl. It took me a while to find her, even though I've been at the same place forever. But this girl, I love her because she only engages with me when I don't have all of her hands and instruments in her mouth. And when she does, she rolls her little chair around and asks me a question or talks that way. She does it right. Yours is doing it wrong. Or just
right.
tell her, listen, it gives me super bad anxiety when you try to have a conversation with me. I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I'm anxious
Like you
about trying to
can't.
hold a conversation with you. Can you just not talk to me? We'll talk after.
I'll when I can sit up and look at you. And the dentist
She'll
is
actually
having
be relieved.
I would bet. The
Hmm.
dentist is having a conversation with her. They're talking over my head, which I think maybe they just started doing that because maybe they think it puts people at ease. It makes me,
Hmm.
I'm like, can you just shut
Yeah.
up and look at my teeth? It's
Yeah.
the molar, it's the cap, it's the thing down here that's giving me a problem all the time. So if you could just check on that, awesome. If not, shut up and let me go. Ask her how her concert was when we're all done talking. All right, I'm done with that. Fan mail. Do you want to talk about Top Shelf? Shelf.
I would love to talk about Top Shelf. That is fantastic. I love
Why
Top
isn't
Shelf.
that? Why
Top
isn't
Shelf
that a
is my favorite.
bartending competition? Top Shelf.
Ooh, yeah. Is that the name of the bartending competition? I remember we
I don't
watched
know,
that
but
for a
it
minute.
should be.
There
I
is a
know.
bartending competition.
We watched like 6 episodes of it. They were each
Hmm.
20 minutes long.
It was wonderful. The one guy was from Montreal, and I happened to travel to Montreal a couple weeks after we watched it, and I asked everybody where that guy was in every restaurant that we went to,
Hey, do you know this guy? He was on a show.
and everybody knew him, but I never got to where he was.
Oh my God, that's fucking fantastic.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right, Top Chef.
Top Chef. So our friend from high school, Crystal Piers,
Ooh,
what's her last name now?
Breeden.
Something like
Breeden.
that. So shout out to Crystal. She sent us an email from the top son of a bitch. Let's start over. Okay. Yay, Crystal. Thanks for sending the email. She wanted to reach out to us and tell us about Top Chef. And I believe reading a little bit. So I'm going to be looking over here again. You're the only one who can see this. But it was season 21. It was a second chance season. So these people had already been kicked off, I think. I didn't do enough research for this. And I just
You're doing
clicked the wrong
great.
thing.
You're doing great.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay. Last Chance Kitchen. That's what it was. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So the chef's name, I'm going to mispronounce it because I didn't watch it. I just read about it, is Kalina Bliss. I know we're so popular that we're going to have 1,000 emails of everybody telling me how I mispronounced her name.
Oh my God, yeah.
So funny boners, just relax. I'm sure I mispronounced it. As you can tell, or maybe you can't tell, I listened to Red Handed this week. So that reminded me of that because they're always like, we're mispronouncing shit. I was like, oh, that's so nice that they have enough people that listen that will
But
correct
tell them.
So anyway, Chef Kalina did something that was unprecedented and shocked everybody. And she decided to bow out of the competition because of her mental health, which is pretty big, especially in the hospitality and restaurant industry. Because in reading about it, and I guess I knew this, it's a shitty industry to work in when it comes to mental health because nobody really gives a fuck about you or mental health and work-life balance and all of that shit. So I guess now that she has brought this up, there's a lot more talk about mental health and taking care of yourself in the restaurant industry. She, in this article I read, which I have linked in our little planner for you to link in the show notes. In this article I read, she talks about how I think it was in her early 20s, her parents passed away. I don't know if they both passed. Anyway, her parents passed away in her early 20s. She didn't take any time off work because she was afraid that she would lose her job.
Yes.
Her
This
parents
seems
died.
familiar. She was like, "No, I'll be at work."
Yeah. Just couldn't take the time off because she would lose her place in moving up. And I know this happens in a lot of places, but I think that the restaurant industry and culinary things like that, they're severely underpaid and treated pretty shittily. I like that word. Shittily. Anyway, so she was talking about coming out of school and having student loans and whatnot, and making $9 an hour and working stupid amount of hours. That's the other problem, is the amount of hours that they're putting in order to make it anywhere. So anyway, thank you, Crystal, for bringing that up because I always love to hear about someone bringing mental health and mental wellness into the light. And in this article, Chef Kalina also talked about how since this has happened, she has been approached by several individuals who are in the restaurant industry, commending her for coming forward and saying that what she did changed what they're doing.
That's amazing. I love those stories. I also can't wait until we're at a place where I can say, hey, I need to take a break. And everyone isn't, oh, you're so brave. You're so brave.
Yeah,
I can't
like it
wait
should
until
just be
that
normal.
isn't like a part of the narrative anymore. Like I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I, as an attention hog, love it when people tell me I'm brave. But I mean, I would like to be known as someone who's like doing actual brave things, like jumping out of an airplane after my Good Morning America
not
appearance.
happening. No. Mm-mm.
But yeah, I feel like me asking to have some kind of work-life balance, regardless of what industry I'm in, it seems like a pretty low bar. Hey guys, this is Chris. I am just going to take a minute here and say, before we go on, I went off on a bit of a tirade here. In there. So I'm taking it out and replacing it with this little snippet of me being okay. Top Chef. So happy that this lady has taken this courageous step. And I cannot wait for the day when we can stop calling these things courageous steps. I think that is my full stop point there. And everything between then and now, I'm going to have to not have in there because I don't want everyone to know I'm a dick. Just you.
Can we
Off
can you save the shit that you pull out of these and maybe
Yes.
just once throw it all together?
Like,
Here's all the dumb shit we said and then realized we said dumb shit.
Because you guys think we don't edit this at all and that we're not trying to protect ourselves. But we are.
Yeah.
Like, there's sometimes we say stuff that's so dumb we can't let each other say it. So there we
Or
are.
we just lose our shit. And hey,
5 ants.
but it's good. It's okay. We're allowed. We're allowed. We're in a
Tell
safe
me-
space.
Right. We're in a safe space, right? I'm going to manifest something a little later. Can you tell us about Aaron O? Aaron, can you fuck? God damn it. Sarah, can you tell us about Aaron's email?
I can't because I'm crying. Oh, okay.
Stop laughing at me. Having a hard time.
But you're making it super entertaining.
For you.
You just said fuck like really aggressively into the microphone and I liked it.
Like
okay.
that episode.
So second
started-
fan mail email. I'm going on. I'm not stopping for you anymore. Take a drink of your water. Back off. Our second email of the day is also from a high school friend, Aaron O, who is more like a family member to us at this point. Aaron spends a lot of time with our family. In fact, we are going to see Bruce Springsteen in August, and my sister, who purchased the tickets, is unable to go because she has to take Olivia back to school. And Aaron is going to pinch hit as a substitute Gaster girl. So it's going to be me and Aaron. I'm just going to call her Aaron Gaster.
Love
and
it.
Jumbo. So anyway, Erin wanted to let us know that she's our biggest fan and that she's catching up on episodes and that she started reading Atomic Habits and then put it down because that's what we do in this family. And so now she's going to get into that and read that with us and hopefully start going through this little journey with us. So yay, Erin. Thank you for your fan mail. It's greatly appreciated. It's the first time in a while that we had 2 emails to talk about. So we are fucking killing it. We are fucking killing it. So
Clearly.
we need another person to send us an email next week. It would be nice if 3 more people send us an email. That would be great.
There's no limit.
So
No limit.
Anyway, gastergirls@gmail.com. We again will beg for love. Please just send us a note and we'll be very appreciative. And we'll talk about you on the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you are next. It's not so much about fan mail, but face-to-face
Feedback. Feedback. We'll call it feedback. I ran into Tommy Balashveri on Saturday. And to be fair, it wasn't an accidental running in. He invited me to his home for a party. So I went. And I was sitting down there eating graduation party chicken across from Tom. And he said, "Hey, how's that chicken?" And then he giggled like a schoolgirl.
How's your chicken?
And then he asked David. He said, "I bet you enjoy her chicken."
And did David get it?
No, because David doesn't know. So I was
Yeah.
like, he has no idea what you're talking about. But yes, he does.
I think Noah knows that's what it used to be called, but I don't think he would remember. Like I know that I told him this before,
Same.
but I think I tell people and they immediately try to forget it.
Right. It is one of those things that you just immediately, except for Tom Balashveri, who did not try to block that
Which
out
is
at all.
amazing. Yeah, which is absolutely freaking amazing. And I like to share the chicken story because I feel that everyone else in the world should be just as disturbed by it as we are.
Sorry, Nita. We love you.
In the best way, disturbed, Mom.
Yeah.
We love, and this is also a great fucking story to tell. So thank you. Thank you for giving us content.
Right. We appreciate you. Okay, moving on. I think that's it.
I like
for
when
fan
you're done
mail.
with me.
Yeah, I'm done with that. It'll just save me the
Okay, moving
editing
on.
later. It'll just save me the editing later. I could
Stop
let her
fucking
ramble,
talking,
but
Sarah.
I have dinner plans at 6 and we're already 40 minutes over what we plan to spend here.
Ooh, I'm hungry.
Vesta 88 with your parents.
Oh, fun. Fun. I hope
Right.
mommy gets chicken.
Don't
I hope she gets C and B.
stop the cock and balls. Can't.
We should do that as a story later on in this episode.
Oh, we definitely will.
Okay. Or in another episode, whatever. Okay, moving on.
So here's the
Anyway,
thing. I woke up early this morning and I was like, "Hey, you don't have a therapist." And I was like arguing with myself. I was like, "No, I did what I said I was going to do and I went to the psychiatrist." And my brain was like, "Yeah, but you need to make a therapy appointment." David went to his therapy appointment. Olivia went to her therapy appointment. Everybody has therapy appointments except for you. So you should get on that and get to therapy. I hadn't really thought about it since I started seeing the psychiatrist that I should also see the therapist. I am going to make that appointment this week.
I feel like that's fantastic. And I would like to ask a question about that, though. Your psychiatrist didn't tell you that you should get a therapist or recommend anyone?
You're going to be surprised by this, but sometimes I tell little half truths to people when they ask me questions and I'm uncomfortable answering them. What the psychiatrist said was, "Do you have a therapist?" And I said, "I'm looking for one right now." And she said, "Great, great. Yeah, you should do that." And I was like, "Yes, yes." And then
Yeah.
she hasn't asked since. So,
You're a psychiatrist. Do you see her online?
no, in an office, but they don't have therapy at that office. They just
Okay.
do medication management at that office.
Which I think is dumb. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand why we have to separate them, but we do.
I think that you should, like, my therapist and psychiatrist are at the same practice. I think the practice should have both.
Yes, maybe.
If we're going to
I mean-
separate them and you have to go to two different people, shouldn't they just work in the same office?
They could. I don't see
feel
any
like they
reason why
should.
they have to.
They really should.
Again,
Go
we
see
should
my therapist?
No, I think I've tried to see your therapist and they're taking new patients, but not really
Oh,
taking new
yeah.
patients. And
Yeah, I've got
there's a
that.
whole thing with the insurance changing every 6 months.
I forgot about that. Okay, so what are you doing to find a new therapist?
I think I am going to the place where David goes and Olivia goes now.
I think that's a great idea.
Yep. We're just going to keep it all in the family. I'm going to have to make sure I don't see either of their therapists because I feel like that would be a
Yeah.
disaster.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Let me tell you why these two are the way they are.
When are you going to call and make an appointment?
I sent an email this morning, so they should call me back today or tomorrow. Then I'll have to fill out some paperwork. Then they'll be able to give me an appointment. So hopefully I will go to the therapist in the next couple of weeks.
That's good. Do they have the paperwork online?
Yeah. Yes.
So you can get a head start on that.
Yeah. The nice thing was I did David's paperwork and Olivia's paperwork. So
Perfect.
I think the reason I feel like I didn't get a therapist was because I just did it for everybody else. Like I already did it twice this summer. So I feel like maybe it'll be easy when I do it.
It'll be great. It's like cheating. It's like you already know the
already
answers.
did it.
Like, yeah, shit's already written all up and down your arm. You're ready to go.
Right. I got my crib notes. It'll be fine. I will let you guys know how I do in therapy. Not since I talk about it all the time.
I think we need to know when your appointment is the first thing.
All right.
So you need to give us that update. We're going to go ahead.
Next week.
Oh, I love the faces that you make when you're not super happy.
You shut up.
I'll let you know.
Moving on. Should we talk about other stuff that we did this week? See, what we've done here is I have tied the habit of doing a podcast with you to having an appointment at the therapy place.
Oh, tie it together. I love tying shit together.
Boom.
Bam.
Who's got an atomic habit of making therapy appointments? It's me.
Who's killing atomic habits? Fuck
this
yeah.
bitch. All right, let's talk about how much soccer we can squeeze into a weekend.
Wow. It's a lot.
Like
There's
a lot.
A lot of soccer. A lot of soccer in this household this weekend. A lot of soccer. A little bit of deck hockey to end our weekend. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Talk about our soccer experiences.
Liverpool. I feel like this is again territory where I'm going to say stuff and people are going to go, what a dumb whore. And either tune out or continue to listen because I'm going to make them so viscerally angry. So on the way to the soccer game, I was trying to name my favorite Liverpool player.
Go ahead.
And there's two whose names I recognize distantly. So there's a guy named Sala, and there's a guy named Van Dyke, I think, because he
Salsa
wasn't
and Van Dyke.
Salsa and Van Divner.
Mhm.
And I don't know if Van Dyke is still a Liverpool player because he wasn't on he didn't play. So I don't know if he was just like, I'm not going to America because that's dumb. No one there understands what's happening
He's
anyway.
still on the team. I was informed
Okay,
of that
good.
by my child. Yeah.
Excellent.
He
Excellent.
I think he was in the weird ass commercial that was playing at the end. Do you remember when we were leaving and
Yes.
the
Right.
Jumbotron? He was a part of that. Noah said that's
Oh,
Van Dyke.
oh,
And I
good.
guess maybe I'm gonna make this up, but maybe he's in the Olympics. I don't know.
As what? Like a
There's
sprinter?
there's a reason. There's a reason. Soccer's in the Olympics, dickwad.
It's not the same for boys as it is for girls. Jerk off. Come
Oh
at me,
yeah, the
bro.
boys are little. The boys are little. I forgot. They've age restrictions.
We know all kinds of stuff about soccer.
Words so soccer
Anyway,
dumb right now.
anyway, so I was like, yeah, Sala, he's got to be like my favorite player, right? He seems like he scores a lot of goals and whatnot. And as people were walking past on the way, like after we got there and I was seeing people's jerseys, I was like, oh, there's an H. There's an H in Sala. I was like, oh, Sala, but there's an H on that.
On the
Didn't
end,
know.
like Sarah.
Yeah, like Sarah with an H, Sala with an H.
Huh.
Right. Mhm.
I still didn't even know that. And I saw a lot of his shirts. Just wasn't paying attention. I just
Right.
remember M. Saul.
Here's the
Mo.
thing. Mo, also a great
Mhm.
name. My second observation after understanding that I don't know any of the players is there seemed to be a lot of chants and songs that people were happily singing, and there was the
Mhm.
you never walk alone one, and then I got like
Yeah.
big goosebumps, and I was like,
Mhm.
this is something I would very much like to be a part of. I would like to know all the chants and the songs. And then I realized that unless I'm actually going to go to a game where there are other people, that it's just silly for me to know the chants and the songs. But I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait until I go to some place where people are passionate, like really passionate about this, because I think that will be amazing.
Are
That
you going to
and
start watching Liverpool now?
I don't it's hard because you got to squeeze that time in, and it seems like an investment to make to memorize rosters and stuff. I feel like my plate is full with Penguins and US women's national team, and
Yeah, and I don't even really watch that unless like
I
it's
don't
like a major event. I
I don't
don't like if
really
it's not
know any
World
of
Cup
those
or
girls.
Olympics, I'm really not, or if I randomly run into it when I'm trying to find a true crime something to watch.
Right. I'm also a little like age prohibitive of me like picking up a new passion right now. I
Mhm.
can't remember the name of the women's national team's coach
Ooh,
to
Emma
save my
Hayes.
life. Like people have told me, and I was like, it's Emily, it's Emma, is it Ellie? Until you just said it, I was like, oh no, she's British. Is she British?
No,
Okay,
she's English, British, UK-ish.
we're
I
not.
don't know.
No, I'm shutting it down. No, done. No,
She's got an accent.
no,
She said she was born in England, but raised
stop.
in no, she said something. It has nothing to do with the UK, but there was
Quit it.
something said yesterday during the game that I was like, interesting.
Right. But all like overall, like the speed at which these guys play soccer is amazing to me.
Mhm.
Like the ability to receive a ball, have like just your receipt of the ball, and you are automatically in the best position you could be in to distribute that ball to somebody else or to make a play by yourself is outright stunning to watch. And I really enjoyed that for the 15 minutes I could pay attention to it.
Yes,
And then I
I
had to have
really
like
enjoyed it.
sip of beer. I had to make comments about the crowd, and then I could get back to watching it. And yeah, so there you are. That was
It
my
was
Liverpool
Yeah, it was
experience.
very
Loved it.
enjoy. I would like to make one statement. Real Bettis. So just to make sure that you guys are aware, to my disappointment, it had nothing to do with Jerome Bettis.
He wasn't even
I was
there.
very, very sad by that. But it's not even real. Real Betis.
Right.
Who knew?
Everybody
Until they said
except
it
us.
in the stadium. And I was like, huh, no, because the dudes sitting next to us were talking about Bettis, but they might have just been being funny. Like I was legit. I had no clue how you pronounced it. So yeah, so that was cool. It's Real Betis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's another actual soccer team. Because in England, you can have two of them that people know. Or
So,
Europe.
yeah.
Good stuff. Good. Oh, no, you froze. There you are.
Oh no.
No,
Okay.
you're back. You're back.
Okay.
So then we went to the Riverhounds. And tell me what you thought of the Riverhounds.
I love the Riverhounds game. The little stadium is perfect. It's a perfect size, not too crowded. The nachos were delicious. The lady gave me free extra cheese. So 5 stars. We'll eat
mean-
nachos here again for sure. You seem to enjoy your wiener. I
Loved
like
my
that.
wiener. It's just the cutest little
It
soccer
is.
stadium. And everyone's
It
so
really is.
excited. And there's always a bunch of little kids running around with those hootie horns.
Yeah, those hootie horns. I'm fairly certain I had some of the loudest hootie horns around me. And I was like,
mean-
wow, I'm super glad that kid's not mine.
Right. There's always one grown up going, put it down,
Yeah,
Jacob,
no, the parents that were around me were just letting their kids do what they, and I was 100% all for it. Go for it. You have the hootie horn for a reason. You're not whipping it around and hitting anyone with it. So I'm perfectly fine with it. You hit me in the face with it, I'm grabbing it off of you and hitting you back. I don't give a shit if you're 3 or not.
Jacob, don't hit the lady with the hootie horn. I said, oh, he won't. Twice. He might hit me once, but he won't hit me twice.
He's not going to do it twice. No. Boom. Anyway, yeah, so that was super fun. And the little inflatable things at the beginning of the game, anybody who's never been to a Riverhounds game, you won't know what I'm talking about. But the inflatable things were fun to watch. They did their little dance at the beginning of the game, and then they did a little show during halftime, and then one of them attacked me while you were eating your wiener.
They look
You'll
like
have to
the
be better
dinosaurs.
prepared in the future to make sure that
take video.
you're recording, because I don't know if I've mentioned it. One of my fears in life is mascots or anything that's wearing a costume and I can't see their face. It freaks me the fuck out. So yeah, so these were people in blow up costumes, and the one tried to attack me.
He was legitimately standing on the chair to try to get a picture with these other people. He didn't even see
He was
you.
trying to attack me. I looked up and his tongue was hanging out on my forehead.
You were sold underneath
I
them,
guess it's not the worst thing that could be on my forehead when I turn around.
especially from a horse. We'll just ask Pat Ritchie. Anyway.
Oh, God. Okay. So, yeah. So the whole experience was wonderful. And then that guy getting the red card at the end, although I did not think the red card was warranted, I love the fact that the referee got so into it that she absolutely would not start the game again until he was in his car going home. She was like, I see him over there. He's standing by the
He's
door.
still
He
here.
needs to get in. He's here. He needs to leave. He's
She
not
was
leaving. He's peeking around the door. She's
It was like a play.
No, she was very invested in him getting the fuck out of that stadium.
All right, quickly, let's talk about how quickly can we do Simone Biles, the documentary?
We could do it quickly. I think I just really wanted to bring it up because I talked about her in the past, and I think it's a really good documentary to watch, mainly because she does all the talking in it, or the majority of the talking in it. So you really get her perspective on things. And they played some clips of sportscasters making some statements about her after she withdrew in 2020. It was actually 2021, but in Tokyo when she withdrew. And man, the one guy, I just want to be like, I wish this was happening now so I could write him a letter or something. But then she came on and she was like, dude, you can't even bend over and touch your toes. Because that's exactly what I wanted to say. It was like, listen, you fat fuck. No. Nope. You have I don't give a fuck. But yeah, she was like, yeah, fuck them. I don't really care, which was a great attitude for her to have, obviously.
When you're Simone Biles, you can have that attitude. And you can back it up like the next 17 Olympics. Again, it gets back to the fact that it'll be a great day when everyone's, good job, Simone. Way to take care of yourself. Rock on. Wish you a speedy recovery. Hope everything, like if she broke her ankle.
And that's one of the things that she brought up on there too. If I broke my leg and my bone, I don't know, this obviously aren't the exact words, but if I broke my leg and my bone was sticking out of my skin, nobody would have been calling me
A
anything.
pussy.
Like I would have been hurt. Everybody would have been praying for me.
Right.
But that's not what happened. It was something that you can't visibly see that needed worked on, that was injured.
Right.
So
It,
anyway, yeah, it's a really good watch. I think there's 2 episodes, so I think it's a couple hours. And it's really cool. Her husband is in therapy now. And he was just super supportive and they're adorable. And he was going through some stuff and didn't even really realize how much he could benefit from therapy. And so he talks a little bit about how her journey has helped him grow and get through some things. So that was really cool. And then there's also some former gymnasts who were in that era of 96 where Carrie Strug had a broken
right.
leg.
Oh, she
and still,
actually had a broken ankle.
yeah, she legit had a broken bone. I don't
they were
really know
like, "You
what was
can
wrong,
do
but it
it."
was something that was really bad. And What's His Nuts was like, you're fine.
You're fine.
You're fine. So yeah, so there were several people talking about just how these athletes have never had a voice of their own and just basically, again, just doing what they're told because that's what they have to do to get to the next level without
So-
any regard for their mental health.
Even last night, as she's doing her floor exercise warm-ups, she tweaked her calf muscle and she's like, it doesn't feel right pushing off on it. And the intrusivity of the media when these athletes are talking about their health is appalling.
Mhm.
Like they have a microphone hanging, like a directional, like they're like trying to read lips and find out what's going on. And I'm like, why don't you just let her talk about what's wrong with her leg with their coaches? And then if she can go, she'll
Yeah.
go. And if she can't, she won't. Like, the hell? And he is,
Yeah.
we all remember what this looks like with Simone Biles walking off the floor. And I'm like, what a cock. Shut up.
Right. She
Like,
did
oh,
this by the end of the night. She was like, yeah,
right.
suck
I'm
it,
sorry.
motherfucker.
Number one all around.
Let me-
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Let's
Let
talk
me and
about
my 27-year-old ass show you
Right.
up, motherfucker, in my super pretty glittery Leo, which I learned
can't,
from the
like-
documentary. That's what they called their little costumes, their little leotards. They're Leo. So adorable.
Right. I can't. Anyway, I was disgusted last night, but super, super engaged with the Olympic performance of these people. So who cannot love the Olympics? There's so
Right.
much. Like the one girl's supposed to come in second, the one swimmer's supposed to come in first. The one girl comes in first, and she's, yeah, I've been finishing second to this bitch my whole life. And now I get to be first here at the Olympics. Ah, so much drama.
I watched volleyball today. No, because I worked. I listened to volleyball, watched a little bit just in passing. Volleyball, I love volleyball. So that was fun to watch and very intense and nail biting. And I also watched shooting today. Oh, again, I didn't watch it. I just listened. And I was even like, whoa. And the rowing just makes me tired watching it. It's just amazing to me. And stop what you're doing.
I'm working. I had to send a message. I'm done now.
Okay.
The rowing makes you tired.
Yeah. Sorry. I can visibly see that you're irritated now. So let's move on.
I'm not. Okay. Here's the thing. I have to leave to meet your parents in 30 minutes. We have roughly minutes of material here.
Okay.
And I'm a dick.
Why?
Because I'm like, we have to go.
Maybe we not record when it's 5 hands downtime.
I think the best option is for me just to lock myself in a room. And so it's all done. So Sisters of 96 and the 96 Effect. I would love to keep talking about that, but let's put it on next week's.
Okay.
Let's talk about our first memory of overwhelming heartache. Yours anyway.
I just wrote that because we didn't have a growing up Gaster story. And I was trying to bring it back to mental health kind of stuff.
I think this is probably a good one. Growing up Gaster, where were we? Do you remember where we were?
I remember where I was. I don't know where you were. I don't know if you were with me or not. I don't remember. We didn't have school that day. Was it Columbus Day or something? Was it?
I think it snowed.
Yeah, it was cold. What was the date? I know it was 86.
Like February, January?
That's what I was thinking. When? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, January 28th, 1986. So we didn't have school, and mommy had to do something. I don't know what she had to do. I was what, 8 years old, 9.
Was she
I was
working?
8. I don't know, but I
So
was at the I was at the Leshos.
same. So was I.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you were there. I don't even
Right.
remember you being there. Which
That's
oh,
because I don't
sidebar,
remember you being there either.
sidebar. I listened to 10% Happier podcast about memory this weekend.
Oh,
It was
I have to
very, very interesting.
tune in. Is it the same thing
Mhm.
about the stuff that it gets attached to and the fact that it's completely unreliable?
Yeah, just like it's about how we're all a little bit too hard on it. There's a lot in it, but
I
like
was
the
just
things
gonna say,
I grabbed onto was one, like we're all too hard on ourselves. Like we're not supposed to keep everything in our brains because if we did, they would look like a hoarder's house. And who wants to have a brain of a hoarder?
oh God.
I certainly don't.
I mean,
So, yeah.
it's
So
all what
I'm
you
really
like,
good
I
at
guess.
making space. Anyway, but then it also talked about how when you tell stories, each time you tell them, you might add something onto it and then you continue to tell it and then you end up like us at the ages of 46 and 51 and we tell stories and we currently preface them with I'm not really sure if this is true or not, but I know
It
that
might have
something
happened.
like this happened. Something started like this. I'm not sure that it really totally went this way, but this is how I'm going to tell
Something.
it.
Something similar
Hmm.
to this is what went down. Cool. So we were at the same place. Were you? Because I remember I was watching the Challenger on the downstairs TV.
We were in the same fucking room because that's exactly where How funny is that? Yes, I specifically remember there,
Right.
the downstairs with the bar and the pool table and
Yeah.
everything. Like there, it's a very distinct location. Yeah.
Yes.
I love the fact that we hated each other so much
Just
that we
removed
don't
you
even remember that we were with each other.
from every
This
memory.
cracks me up because I
I
legit didn't think you were there.
was definitely there. It was me, you, and Sammy. I don't remember. Maybe Renee.
I don't remember. I remember Sammy being there. I don't remember anybody else.
Yeah, it might not. It might not have been Renee, but yeah, we were definitely there. What was this? 86. I was in eighth
Hmm.
grade.
Yeah, I don't
Eighth
know what
grade.
grade I was in.
You were in third grade
Third,
ish.
Mrs. Delamay.
Oh, anyway, yeah, that is super funny. That I was like, I'm pretty sure you weren't there. I couldn't have.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is everyone's, oh, we have to watch it. It's the teacher. They're sending a teacher up,
Yeah.
and they were always, I feel like the space program at that point was just trying to get us to watch something like, oh,
Hmm.
we're sending a teacher. Oh, it's a monkey. Oh, it's a lady. Like whatever kind of cool thing they were sending up into space, they were like, you guys should tune in. And I remember here's, I'll go first because mine is a lot less traumatic than yours. And I was like, oh, wow, that blew up. And then listening to it, and I'm like, oh, wow, that blew up. And those people actually died. I wonder if Gina's going to feed us lunch. This is the kind of impact it had on me. I was like, wow, that's tragic. Still am hungry though. So I hope someone's
Sure
coming
am.
down here.
Hope there's mac and cheese on the way.
Somebody's bringing me a grilled cheese pretty soon. That is exactly how much impact that had on me. I was like, oh, that's sad. I'm probably going to remember this for a long time. Sammy, isn't that sad? Should we shoot pool?
What should we do? Let's do something. That's great.
Let's turn this off. And then I went on with my life, and everyone around me was like, oh, it was very sad. Yes, it was very sad. It's very sad. We had grilled cheese at the Leshas, so
I wish I remembered what we did eat for lunch.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't grilled cheese. But I was just as happy to. I don't remember it having a big effect on me other than it was a major event and I can remember where I was when it happened, but I didn't feel particularly sad or any other way about it after it was over. Your turn.
Yeah. I think this should have been like my first. This is pretty much how I've handled all tragedies. I get stuck on them and then I obsess about them and I cry about them. And talking about thinking about like I've watched, I think it was a recent Netflix, I think it was Netflix documentary about it. Like it still makes me tear up. It still makes me sad. But that's what I remember. Just I don't remember like that specific being there and what I was thinking, but I remember the aftermath of it, like coming home and watching the news and thinking maybe that little thing that like flies off, like something, there was a little capsule that they could be in. Like maybe they made it off there. And then they like interviewed what's her nuts' parents, Krista McCall, is that was her what her name was?
Mhm.
They interviewed her parents, and that was like super sad. Like I remember that. And then I just remember it was just a loop in my head at the age of 9 about how sad it was and like how she had kids at home and how sad they must be and how sad her husband is and how sad and how awful it was that they all had to watch it. Like all of the things that I'm sure a lot of people thought like for a second just kept going. And then we got the next day in the newspaper was the picture of all of them standing there, their
Do it
astronaut
there.
picture. They're all there with their helmets and everything. And I cut that out and I had a little frame. I don't, it was something like My Little Ponies frame or some shit. And I put that picture in there and put it in my room because I wanted to remember them.
Ugh,
Yeah.
yeah, you had a lot of a harder time getting past it. We were telling jokes the next day in school,
I'm sure I was. I'm sure that I functioned like a normal human being.
but I didn't do any of
But
that. Like, I didn't need a picture of it.
that's the first time I remember being like fucked up.
You're looking around at everybody else's reaction, going, "We're not. Everyone isn't cutting it. You
Yeah.
guys aren't just reliving it in your heads over and no?
Yeah. And that's pretty much what it was. Like I had trouble getting to sleep. Like I would just cry at nighttime, at bedtime. Yeah.
Nope. I don't.
Mhm.
A, I didn't do that. B, I don't remember any of that. Were we in the same room? We couldn't have been in the same. We
No.
might have been in the same room because
We might have been.
obviously I cared so
Well, and it's
little
not-
for you.
And again, I was like 8 or 9, right? What, 9, 8? I can't do my fucking math. But anyway, so it's not like I was like running around the house crying and like having a legit mental breakdown of any sort. I'm sure mommy talked to me about it. I'm sure they told me everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Just like those
So,
memes on the internet
yeah.
these days, where we watched this. The teacher just rolled out the TV from the room, and we did geography later that day.
Yeah. So it's not like it was like a big deal in our house.
Right.
It was just in my little tiny brain.
God bless your little tiny brain. Yeah, we should have been able to, and maybe that's the good thing about the stuff that we're trying to do, like shining a light on mental illness and things that are that normally in our generation we just would have skipped over and been like, everyone good, great,
Okay.
great.
Moving on.
Right.
Moving on.
Now there's counselors available, and maybe a lot of the narrative that we start having with the children is about, hey, are you not okay, or are you okay? There's a commercial in the Olympics where the mom and the dad are like, are you having fun?
Yeah, I saw that and I loved it. I think I made a mental note, which I forgot, but I wanted to mention it. So there you go.
So maybe the good part about shining a light on all of this stuff is that you don't have to suffer like that by yourself anymore, because somebody will be like, hey, are you okay? And you can be like, no, I am not. I am not. I am having an
Nope.
inappropriate, disproportionate reaction to this thing everyone else seems to be fairly cool with.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think, and I know that we've said it before, it's no fault of like our parents or anything.
No.
It's just that's how it was.
Right.
They weren't like, mommy, when you listen to this, I'm not even sure that you knew that, like that I was that sad
No.
about it or affected in any way. I'm guessing that they didn't.
These would be the last people I would tell I was feeling sad in elementary school. I'm not going to create a fuss. No, it has nothing to do with parenting style or anything. It's just the way that it was. Like, you just don't talk about that stuff. You're fine. You're fine. It's the same way with riding bikes and wearing helmets. Like, it just never would have occurred to us to put a helmet on. And now we wouldn't even dream of letting our kids go out riding bikes without helmets. So,
Right.
Not the most entertaining growing up gastro story of the week, but one I think pulls us back to our original intent here. Also, I have to do a follow-up to the growing up gastro story of the week last week, where I went and watched that YouTube video about Kennywood. And
Oh, yeah.
just the serotonin I get from watching and listening to Rick Seaback talk about Kennywood from the 80s, I'm like, I'm there. I'm there. I can smell it. I can smell the Raging Rapids smell. Moldy gym shorts.
Almost as bad as a
Anyway,
deck hockey rink. Ugh.
anyway, so that is a growing up Gaster story of the week. All right, mental health. So let's
I would
jump
like to
in.
go back and say that I do think it was funny that we were both in the same spot for that memory,
Right.
and neither of us knew that we were there. And it's not like they had a huge ass basement.
No, the room was like 8 by 8. Like the room where the TV was 8 feet
Right.
by 8 feet. We definitely could
Right.
have touched each other during this
Without a
Challenger
doubt.
disaster.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yet we were like, were you there? I don't even remember you being there.
Still don't have a clue that still not like I'm trying. My brain is
Right.
actively trying to dig that up. There are little
Right.
people in there right now with little shovels digging, and I can't. Nope.
There's like
They're
a
giving up.
Yep. They're like, she wasn't there. She lies.
I don't. She's lying. She's fucking lying.
I don't know where she was, but she wasn't there. She lies. Oh, brains. Brains are so fun. All right, so let's talk about how we can use our brains to be better people so that we can remember
Yeah.
our siblings are in the room when disasters happen. So last week on Atomic Habits, we talked about habit tracking. Oh, get it all out. Get it all out. And how habit tracking is a way to take a look at kind of identifying the habits that you're in right now and the ones that maybe you want to change that aren't serving a purpose. I'm also going to talk again about identity driven habits. So thinking about the person that you want to be and finding ways to be that person is often a better solution and a more sort of value driven way to come at these things rather than saying I don't want to be a smoker anymore, or coming at these things like I really need to make healthy decisions. Like it's all about the habits that stick with us are the ones that are based on our identity with your face.
Yes.
So that is the perspective I took this week. Was I would like to be someone who makes good healthy decisions about what happens to my rapidly aging body. So there is my identity that I am going to try to work on for the next Atomic Habit book reading time.
Yeah.
And here's where you say what you're going to do.
Oh, I thought I did last week.
You have to say it again because no one paid attention
Oh.
to you last week. And by
I am
nobody,
a healthy
I mean
person.
I mean me. Oh, good. We're
And
like the same.
Yeah, I said it on the episode last week.
I don't remember.
The good news is it's recorded and you can listen to it.
I'll go ahead and download it now. Who's listening in Fredericktown? Oh, it's me again because I wasn't there when we recorded it. Oh, brain. Oh, brain.
Oh, that's good shit. That is good shit right there.
All right, so let's talk about our habit trackers.
As
Let me get this yawn out because that's how I feel about the habit tracker. This is one of the worst things you can ask me to do because it's so fucking boring. I want to die. It's boring, and it reminds me so much of my nutrition tracker that it's almost, I know these are bad habits. I already know that the 3 hours I spent looking at dumb shit on the internet wasn't the most productive time I could have spent.
See, this is where I failed because I thought I was doing like a really good job. And then I read through the couple of days that I did it. Hold on. There's a little froggy in my throat.
Oh no, don't drown him.
Oh, he's drowned. See ya. Poor guy.
He'll be
At
fine.
the funeral for him later.
Saints preserve us.
I'll worry about that little frog all day or night, whatever the fuck we're doing here. I'm looking at my list right now, and it turns out that I really did. I think I really just tracked things that were good, but I don't I don't know. I think I need to start over because I literally just wake up, brush teeth, shower, fix hair, make coffee, turn on GMA, start work, check email, start laundry. Take Owen to soccer, switch laundry, pick up Owen, eat breakfast with Owen, take meds, log meds, fold laundry, make bed, put clothes away, check GG emails, which is Gaster Girls, run dishwasher. Like those are all the basics. I don't think I really was like, I don't know. Also, like I could be working on something for work and have a thought and then get onto Google and look up whatever that thought was, read about it, and then go back to work. Which I feel is like the shit I need to identify, but I wasn't going to stop and write down for 1 minute. I looked up why Rose jumps all over your shit when you're
Right.
podcasting.
Yeah, it's a mystery. She's doing it now because she's trapped in this room.
Yeah, poor
Look how
thing.
cute her ear is, though. Oh, hello, Rose.
Oh.
The part for me was at 8 o'clock in the morning, I log on and I read 2 emails, and then I flip over to something else, and then I come back and do 2 emails. And by something else, look at dumb shit on the internet that just popped in my head. And it turns out I do that 15 times a day. And then by the end of the day, I'm like, I guess that's enough of the work. I'm exhausted. But I've looked at 5 emails and spent a total of 4 hours looking at dumb shit on the internet that I didn't need to. Last week, I had to register for a conference, so necessitates a visit to the internet. So registering for the conference, I also found out that my membership in this society that has sponsoring the conference has lapsed. So now I have to redo my membership. So I do that. Then I have to go to my email to get a code to log back in because now I'm a member and my price is different. So I go to my email, and then 14 emails later, after I've figured out that Glamnetics is having a sale on the nails, go back to that. What the task that I thought would take an hour max, it took me 3 hours because I had to go through the rigmarole, and then my registration won't work for some reason. So then I have to email the guy. Now I have to go back to my email. As I'm doing that, 3 new emails have come in for me to check. So what is that? I'm like, okay, some part of that was good. Rose, don't rub your face on
I
the microphone.
think
Part
I
of that
think
is
we
good.
need to.
That's a
Go ahead.
positive habit. Losing focus and searching for shit on the internet, that's a bad habit. I don't need to do that. And I have control over that because I will go there and be like, I forgot what I was doing. All right, instead of doing 8 other things, go back 5 seconds and figure out what you were supposed to do. Rose, do you hear this? There we go.
Damn it,
So-
Rose.
Damn it, Rose. So I think looking at that and then in the morning, just going back to bed instead of going to yoga, I was like real guilty of that last week.
Yeah, I didn't get up and work out at all like I wanted to.
So
But I did work out today.
I'm gonna take the habit tracker for what it is. The same way I take my nutrition tracker for what it is. I already knew I was pretty fucked up. Like I already knew I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. So why don't
I already
we
knew that eating 3 Big Macs in a day was not a good idea.
I already knew. So why don't we revisit habit tracking in like a week when we're, in a slightly different headspace. We'll come back to it and look at our habit trackers and be like, there it is. Here's some good things that I've already added.
And that's what there's a couple things I want to add. And I also want to maybe put some restrictions on myself because I, like you, like I said, I get distracted. Like I'm working and I'm like, oh, wait a second. I wanted to look that up. So you said something that makes a lot of sense that I think I forget about. We have control over that. I can, if it's really important, I can write myself a note and look at it when I'm not working.
Right.
I can shut down my personal email and set specific times that I open them and give myself 10 minutes to look at them. There are positive things I can do to make sure that I don't go off on these or down these rabbit holes that lead to wasting a shit ton of time.
So much more time in the day if you do that. Yes. And then we can say, hey, I've consolidated the internet fluffy shit that I was doing that was taking me 3 hours every day. And now I do that at the Vyvanse time when I can't be around people, but I'm not really working anymore. Then I bundle a couple of things together. So let's talk about next week, and let's talk about cues and how we make some stuff obvious. So last chapter that I spent a lot of time in is about making it obvious and creating situations where it's obvious that you have to do the habit. So he's got a couple of really good techniques in the chapter about that, like when I X, I will also Y, or at this specific time, I will J, or whatever. So when I wake up, I'm going to work out. When I wake up, I'm going to put my workout clothes on before I head into the kitchen. And that way I'm a lot less likely to go back to bed because I'm already wearing a pair of pants that's too tight for me to sleep in.
True. True that. True that.
I'm likewise.
If I could just get my feet on the floor in the morning, I feel like that's as simple as can start right now. I just have to put my feet on the floor and promise to not lay back down.
That's part of it. But it's like
Helpful.
for me, also so easy to be like, I'm going back to bed, feet up off the floor.
Right.
That's me.
And I did put my clothes out last night because I was going to get up and work out first thing. But of course, I didn't. But then a couple things happened this weekend. Like Owen had soccer fitness training on Saturday morning at 8, and then he had soccer practice on Sunday at 8 a.m. And he will have that for the rest of the summer. And that kind of sucks because that's a shitty time. But I got up, I took him. While he was doing his stuff, I walked. So I got my exercise in both days. I walked 2.5 miles on Saturday and 4.5 miles on Sunday. Yay me. But also in this, I noticed that my kid is out of shape. So this morning when I picked him up from high school soccer practice, he had told me this weekend that he wants to do a little more than just the scheduled practices, that he needs to do more. What am I talking about?
Hey guys, it's Chris again. I'm just going to jump in here for a second and say this is where Sarah busted me not paying attention to her while she was talking like a dick. I'm just going to cut out a lot of the part where she busts me for not paying attention and I try to say some things to make up for it and skip right to the part where I talk about what I wanted to talk about. So, sorry, Sarah.
Okay. All right. Finish her up. Talk about what you want to finish up with.
That's it. Nothing. I'm a dick. That's what I got. I'm going to feel bad all night, and then we're going to have to record this one again because I've been a complete asshole the whole time.
We do not have to record again. It's fine. I think we're at an hour and 15 minutes. So
what changes are you going to make? Practical changes are you going to make this week to try to create a situation where your new habit of working out first thing in the morning or working out in general is a part of your routine that is not invisible? How are you going to make it obvious? That's my question.
I'm going to make it obvious. I'm going to make it obvious by, well, what I did last night, but it didn't work. So I'm going to have to figure out another way because I set my clothes out and I still didn't get up. So what I'd like to do is get my feet on the ground. That's going to be as soon as my alarm goes off. I can't touch my alarm. I can't do anything until my feet are on the ground. And then once my feet are on the ground, my clothes are right there.
I love it.
On the ground.
On the ground. Feet on the ground.
That is going to be feet on the ground, clothes on my body, ass on the treadmill.
I am going to get dressed before I go into the kitchen to make the coffee and the lunch.
I think that's a good idea.
Because if I'm dressed, there's really no point in going back to bed. I've already done all the hard stuff. So I will get dressed. Then I will go and I will make the coffee and the lunch. And once I've made the coffee and the lunch, I can either decide to go back to bed like a douche, or I can just head on out the door to yoga class at 5:30. Being a healthy person, that's what I would do.
I feel like you're going to go to yoga class.
I'm going to go to yoga class. I feel like you're going to get on the
Perfect.
treadmill.
I am.
But the important part is you got to get your feet on the ground. My important part is I have to put the clothes on. And then the habit will follow from there. And that is a tiny little thing to change, right? That's the point.
Amen.
Like
super tiny.
Alarm goes off.
Super atomic.
Alarm goes off, feet go on the ground. Alarm goes off, clothes go on before I do anything else. And that way you've already established a little bit of momentum.
Yes. Momentum is good.
Exactly. All right. Next week, we're going to talk about setting up positive environments. And that'll wrap up part 1.
Yay.
So there we go.
Will you eat something fried at the bar for me?
Yes. I'm probably going to have a lot of bread. So.
Oh, I love bread. Yay.
All right. I'm going to stop recording.
I would like some wings. Okay.
I'm going to tell you. No, wait. I'm going to tell you I love you because I was a dick all time here. And I do love you. I appreciate everything you're saying. I'm just struggling.
We're not hanging up on each other.
Right. but I felt it was important for everybody to know that I love you. And I know I'm a dick. All right. Love you. Bye.
Yeah, I love you. Bye.